After the latest in the Israel-Hamas war, tonight Israel has ordered the evacuation of more than 1 million people from the northern part of Gaza ahead of an expected ground offensive.
This as Israel formed a new unity government in an effort to restore confidence that it can keep people safe after terrorists infiltrated the country last week. ABC's Tim Pulliam has the latest, with cities in the U.S. preparing for protests tomorrow.
In New York, police getting ready for massive protests Friday after that horrific Hamas attack in Israel. Online chatter calling for a global day of action. NYPD staffing up.
We're trying to make sure that violence doesn't manifest on the streets of New York City.
Israel military forces continue its defense attacks on Hamas targets in Gaza. Hundreds of men, women, and children murdered by terrorists in their homes and on the streets. Americans among those slaughtered are taken captive.
To the families who may have loved ones in the hands of Hamas, what I told them is this. We are doing everything we can, looking at every possible option to bring their loved ones back to them.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken sitting down with ABC World News Tonight anchor David Muir in Israel.
One of the obligations that we have, that all democracies have, is to do everything we can to make sure, to the best of our ability, that civilians don't suffer. Israel is not targeting civilians. Hamas is very deliberately targeting civilians.
Hundreds of civilians left wounded from airstrikes. The war forcing residents in Gaza to find safe spaces and shelter.
Yesterday was very hard. There were a lot of bombings around us. But one of them was about 150 meters from my house.
Federal officials say they are watching for any sign of terror threats here in the U.S. Police in major cities are warning synagogues and religious schools and other potential targets to be on high alert as they monitor protests on Friday. Tim Pulliam, ABC News, Los Angeles.